Hi everyone, thank you for joining. So today I wanted to talk about my new Peperomia marbled. On Sunday I went to Home Depot. I was really looking for any type of sales that might be related to Valentine's Day. A number of channels had showed off some Hoya Kyriis, and I just thought it would be wonderful to find one of those. Unfortunately, I didn't find one. What I found was these really cute little peperomias, and they were on sale for $1 off. So they're normally $5 and they were $4. And when I looked at them, I currently have a marbled, but mine doesn't have this incredible contrast. Like, I was amazed at the dark greens versus the really creamy yellow. Very, very beautiful. I was thrilled. I took pictures of them and I was going to use them in another video that I didn't end up making. And I went home and I was really proud of myself that I didn't buy them. Very often if I see something, I have no self-control, especially when it comes to really pretty plants like this. And, you know, a part of me thought to myself, well, I do already have a marbled, even though it looks different. I also have a golden gate, so why do I need another one? So I walked out without buying any of these plants, and I was proud of myself for a while. And then later, I got a little bit sad. I looked at my current marble. I took it out of the brighter light and it lost some of its variegation. However, it also threw up a flower spike, which to me meant it's happy with its situation, even though I'm really not as happy with how it's developing. So when I kept thinking about these, I started to kind of obsess about it. I really wanted them. So during my lunch break today, I went and bought them. Maybe because it was the fact that I was over obsessed, I didn't just buy one, which I might have done before. I bought 2 of them. They were an excellent price. They're not very big yet. I had bought a pot at Lowe's, a really pretty pot, and I plan to pot them both in here together. I think that it will not be too much space. I picked out a spot under the lights. My Syngonium pink neon, I don't know what it doesn't like about this room. I suspect it doesn't like the amount of humidity or lack of humidity that it's getting. Or maybe I was just giving it too bright of light. It threw out a bunch of new leaves and they're just not opening. Like, they're staying curled. So I moved them up to a lower light position. And I'm going to put this one in a higher light position. Hopefully it will not only keep this good variegation, maybe the new leaves will be highly variegated and we'll just have a really nice, big, pretty plant. I'm going to get my ingredients together and I'm going to pot this up and I will come back and show you what that looks like. One of the things I like to do is repot plants. It gives me the ability to look at their roots to determine if they're healthy, to see how the substrate looks. I don't normally rinse the roots, but I watched something today where one of the creators rinsed the roots off of a plant in order to put it into semi-hydro. And so I decided I wanted to try that just to kind of get as much of the substrate off as possible, but not really go too in-depth into cleaning these roots, as they're not going to be semi-hydro. I just want to remove any of the nursery substrate so that it doesn't interfere with the new mix that I create and give to the plant. The soil I'm going to use is a mixture of potting mix, horticultural perlite, and coco coir. I've mixed them together until they've made this kind of a blend where every handful has a liberal amount of perlite in it, so you can very easily see it. And then the last step is going to be to add a mixture of orchid bark and larger pieces of perlite and rock. And that'll give it just a touch of more aeration. I have found that if you are not careful, if you don't do your mix well enough, your soil can become very dense once it dries out. And I've been told that these types of peperomia do prefer to dry out. And so I want to be very careful with the mixture so that it doesn't become dense, concrete-like, and hydrophobic. And this is the last step. It is a type of mixture that was supposedly made for succulents that I got off of repotme.com. And I've used it for various other reasons, ways to keep the soil aerated and nicely chunky, and sometimes using it as top dressing to keep the top of the soil dressed and a little less conducive to, hopefully, fungus gnats. And the final step was I put the plant in the pot. I tried to put both of them together in a way that make them look cohesive, as if they were part of one entire entity. I coated the bottom or the top of the soil with mosquito bits, just in case we have any fungus gnat larvae that's hidden in there that'll be awakened by the watering of the plant. And then I covered it, top dressed it with the mixture of bark and large perlite. Because I soaked the roots today, I'm not going to water this in. I'm going to give it a few days and I'm going to let it get used to its environment. The soil around the roots felt like it was very peat mossy. So I think it'll hold in moisture for quite a while, and I won't need to water it for maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 days. And then I'll put it on a regular cycle. I'll have to double check what my other ones are getting. They seem to be responding pretty well. But I think it's about a 4 or 5 day cycle where I water them and then I let the soil dry out a little bit. This is in a larger pot, but one of these groups of cuttings had a lot of roots that took up quite a bit of space, and the other had a little less. So the pot itself is a 6-inch pot, but I think for this size of plant, that wasn't really a bad thing. So what I'll do is I'll put it in the place where it's going to live, and then I will let you get a look at it. Okay, so here is the final home of where this will live. I decided that the light up here was bright enough. My Maria is doing well up here. In fact, she's just like throwing out more and more leaves, and the colors on these are tremendous under this light. And then even my mango is doing pretty well. It's not under full light, but you'll see that the new marble is now under kind of really bright lights. And it could be that this is what the neon didn't appreciate, was how much light was kind of focused towards it. And I'm hoping that the marble will like it, and it will help maintain and grow new, beautiful, bright leaves. Yeah, so I'm really pleased by how this looks. Thank you everybody for joining and welcoming my new plant into the family. Have a good rest of your day.